Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Bar podcast. I'm Denisa Tova, your host. And today we have the incredibly talented, amazing family law attorney Jackie Harounian with us. She's not just a managing partner at the Wisselman Harounian Family Law. She is a standout advocate for women. She has a deep background in both behavioral forensic psychology, family system therapy. She is a force to be reckoned with. So get ready for an eye opening chat. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you so much, Denisa, for inviting me. I've seen all your prior episodes and I'm truly honored to be part of the lineup. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I feel mutual. You are such a fascinating human being. You have so many layers to you. And, going outside of your title, tell me about young Jackie, your childhood. What was the image of yourself when you were a teenager, and how has it evolved?
Oh, wow. That's a great question because I often reflect on who I really am and what really drives me. And a lot of it goes back to who I was as a teenage girl. I'm the daughter of immigrants, Middle Eastern immigrants. I was a very introverted young girl, but also very studious. And I surprised myself by having goals and ambitions that were not really typical for young girls in my community. Even though I was born in the United States, I got married very young. I got married when I was 20 and became a mother very shortly thereafter and realized that I wanted to do more. I wanted to go to law school and I have surprised myself. I call myself the accidental lawyer, the accidental law partner. So many things that I've accomplished were not even dreams that I had as a young teenager, but a lot of it came from my upbringing.
Let's talk more about that. You said you surprised yourself. Where was there like a defining moment, or many moments, or was there a mentor that sort of made you springboard to develop this career and to the next step? What was it in you that kept you going?
I can't really say I had a mentor in the beginning because I had never met a lawyer in real life before I went to law school. Um, in where I come from in the Middle East, in very traditional communities, there really is no path towards a career for young women, at least not when I started 30 years ago. It was expected that young women would become married on the early side, they would become mothers and have very traditional roles. And that's what I expected for myself. But I was very blessed to marry someone, my husband Maurice, who was beyond supportive when I said, I don't think I'm done after college. I want to continue to law school. He was incredibly supportive, and he remains so to this day. And I realized that that's a very lucky circumstance. Not every woman has that, no matter what your background. If you are driven to have a career, it's incredibly important who you choose to partner with and raise a family with. And raising a family was very, very important to me. Um, it was never a question that I was going to be a mother. I have four children and that we would raise children together. The career kind of developed. Um, I didn't know where it would lead. When I started law school, I went to Hofstra Law School. I was already a mother, and I knew I wanted to practice law. I wasn't really sure what form that would take, and I very fortuitously found a job when I was a second year law student working part time in family law. And believe it or not, Denisa, that job is the same law firm I'm with today. I was a law
Wow.
clerk, then became an associate, thereafter a partner, and then I bought out Jerry Wisselman, and now I'm the managing partner of this firm. I could never have even dreamed that that would be possible. My dreams did not were not that big in those days. I just kind of never stopped practicing. I always continued the work. I've always enjoyed family law. I think it's a wonderful profession where you can have a very big impact on families. And I very much identify, it's not that I don't advocate for men. I have just as many men clients as I do women. I just understand gender roles in a really deep way because of my own upbringing, because of what I see in cultures that are similar to my upbringing. And you see gender norms really being disrupted these days. for men and women.
Mm,
We now have in New York men seeking custody. There are a lot of men that stay at home and raise children while their wives, I call them CEO moms, they're breadwinners. About a third of households, women are the breadwinner. And that can only happen if you have a nurturing spouse at home, whether it's a same sex marriage or opposite sex marriage. You need to have someone who is helping with the children either on a 50-50 basis or sometimes more than that. So I see the advances for women in careers very much hand in hand with partnerships, co-parenting that goes on at home. And I really understand that. I was fortunate enough to have it in my own marriage. And I see that the most successful uh, relationships, the most successful marriages, and the most successful outcomes with parenting happen when men and women or when partners really support each other's roles in parenting
yeah.
and also when it comes to working.
That is really an inspirational path because it was not predetermined for you. You just kept going and having great and supportive partner. You sound like the type of person that leans into what I call any sort of a conflict, and I can only imagine that that must be it must make your clients sort of it must put them at ease and you're more relatable. And I know, Jackie, you've sort of bravely championed religious divorce cases with a I think significant focus on preserving the rights of women who are often, as you said, undermined in these processes. Could you tell me why is that so important to you, and
Yeah.
what do you wish to see in the religious divorce landscape?
Yeah, religious divorce is fascinating, and it's again a practice that kind of developed naturally because of what I bring to the table. It comes. I am bilingual. I speak Farsi. I also speak some Hebrew, and because of my Middle Eastern background, I've always attracted clients from the Middle East or South Asia. So Indian clients, clients that's from Muslim countries. I've always had a comfort level with it, and at the same time I also have a lot of Jewish clients, Orthodox Jewish clients. And I have clients that are Jehovah's Witnesses that find me because I have a lot of content out there regarding religious divorce. What's so interesting about religious divorce, not only is it thousands of years old, it's based on traditions and agreements and rituals that are just fascinating. And a lot of them are very similar, which is so fascinating. So these
Mm,
religions, despite the differences they also have a lot in common when it comes to financial entitlements for women and also a contract based understanding of what a marriage is. Um, what's made this even more critical is that New York is a no fault state, and just like every state in the country now offers no fault grounds. And this is where psychology comes in because I do have a lot of background in psychology. When you tell people that are going through a divorce, especially people who are religious, that, we're done with the grounds, let's now move on to custody and financial issues. A lot of people are not ready for that. They are not ready to just whip past the grounds, the morals, the traditions, the vows, the fidelity, the infidelity. A lot of people get stuck in that, and people who are religious, that's a very big part of their marriage.
mm,
And so fault-based divorce is still something that's important to some parties, and I have done cases where infidelity is actually litigated. And actually, I had a
wow.
case in Queens for a woman who was Muslim. She had an Islamic marriage contract that was worth almost $100,000, and her husband was unfaithful to her, and we had to address it as part of the case.
Mm,
And this is not specific to any religion. It has to do with psychology, betrayal, how people recover from betrayal and infidelity. Some people are resilient and can do that, and others simply need more counseling and even have a religious based set of issues that have to be addressed.
mm,
Um, Grounds for divorce are an integral part of the process. In New York, we do tend to skip past it and go into custody. But again, not everyone is prepared for that. And as lawyers, we need to be sensitive to, who our clients are and meet them where they are, no matter what their religious background, their cultural background, their gender identity, their values and their traditions, it's very much a part of the representation. And I take it very seriously to respect people of different backgrounds and try to really be their advocate.
Talking about resilience, your resilience, it's truly inspiring. Look, dealing with cancer of its own is extremely scary and challenging. But in addition to that, I know there were other pressures that you had to deal with while maintaining a high profile career. And that's not easy. But it's almost like you emerged stronger as a result of that experience. Can you tell me what that was like for you?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I can talk a little bit about my experience. I did have breast cancer about 6 years ago. I was diagnosed, and I kept it private for a very long time. I was very worried about the impact it would have on my family and on my career. And so now that I'm past it, I am able to be more vocal about it. And one of the things, the messages I want to share is how important it is. Um, for women to get tested and men too, because breast cancer occurs in men too. I caught mine very early. I had a very good outcome, even though I had a lot of treatments and surgeries. And today, the way I'm able to give back is to help other people and spread awareness about it. And so I'm involved in two organizations involving breast cancer. One of them is local. It's Mondays at Racine's, which is a Long Island-based a nonprofit. It's wonderful. It delivers wellness services to people going through chemotherapy and beauty services at various franchise uh, beauty salons. And I never lost my hair because I didn't have to undergo the chemotherapy, which is why it's so important for me to really see what I can do to help raise awareness for men and women that really it's a grueling experience, and chemotherapy um, it really can impact it impacts marriages, it can impact a career, and it causes a lot of mental health issues as well as and physical health issues. The other organization is Judges and Lawyers Breast Cancer Awareness. It's more of a Manhattan based organization. I really hope anyone listening can go look for it on LinkedIn. There's a LinkedIn group and try to support awareness. And they bring scan vans and mammograms to courthouses, and they provide free mammograms and many other things. They also have a legal clinic with funding to help people that have legal issues with housing and other things. And a lot of hospital systems are supporting it. So I would love to spread awareness about it, which is really a privilege to
Yes.
do.
Thank you so much for sharing those resources. And you really are an inspiration, Jackie. We'll make sure that we'll post links to these organizations. Absolutely. And you're an amazing mother to four children. What is your favorite way to unwind with your family on the weekends?
So even though I am technically empty nest because my four children no longer live at home, I do have my children come home almost every weekend and we share time together. We do a lot of cooking together. Everyone makes one dish and puts it on the table. We have at least one, if not two, family meals every week together. And in my community, it's the Persian Jewish community. We have weekly dinners that are intergenerational. So my in-laws and my parents are at the table with us almost every week. Different generations spending a few hours together. It really is something that keeps a very close-knit family, and it's very important to me.
Hmm. Who is your role model?
So my role model, my actual number one role model in life is actually Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I'm not even sure if you can see uh, in the corner behind me. I have a little shrine to her with
Yes.
some pictures, the copy of the
Love it.
Constitution. I actually met her twice at the Supreme Court. I went with
Wow.
a couple of organizations, and we met with her. One was Hadassah, and the other one was the Brandeis Association, which is a Jewish bar association. Not only was she a top-notch jurist and lawyer, she was very staunch in advancing the rights of women and minorities and was very strong for civil rights. And she was also a mother and a cancer survivor. She fought cancer 5 times. So for all kinds of reasons, she is a role model, and I think not just for women, but for lots of people because of what she went through and everything she tried to do when she was on the bench. And before that, as a lawyer, she was really tenacious fighter for rights of other people.
She really was. I think I do have a couple of T-shirts too, and I love wearing it because it like that message strengthens you. And yeah, I'm a first generation immigrant. I actually came to this country when I was 16, all by myself, and so just kind of moving through life, just have appreciation for women who are risers and pull themselves by the bootstraps and just march forward. Um, so, lastly, you are all over social media, so am I. We like to use those platform to connect. And so many professionals, including young attorneys, they're utilizing it more and more. And not just young attorneys, I mean, just people all over the board. What advice would you give to incoming lawyers, in particular about social media? Are there any do's and don'ts uh, with respect to just how you show up and what you're posting? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, I think building a brand or a network is exceedingly important, and I do a lot of mentoring of young people, young lawyers, and it's never too early to start. So when you're a law student, LinkedIn is your online resume. You should be building your page, making connections. Um, I get a lot of business from what I do on social media. I get a lot of opportunities to do speaking presentations, which is another way how I develop my business. And I think it's an essential part of building your brand, having credibility for clients and other people who might refer you business. And it's also quite enjoyable. And I think if you can learn what you like to do when it comes to networking or marketing your business, online and offline, it's going to lead to success. And every lawyer, every law firm, I think for most of us, the goal is to have a practice that's built on referrals. So for that to happen, people need to be able to find you, and whatever they do find online needs to be something that really is consistent with your brand,
Yeah.
what your advocacy looks like, how you're set apart from other people, because it's certainly family law is a very, very competitive field. And I'm always telling clients that as lawyers, we're different. We bring different skill sets. We have different strategies. We have different approaches to how we look at a case. And so it's important that you showcase how you're different from your colleagues. Um, and the number one thing in family law, because you're really impacting families, people, you want to improve their lives in the best way that you can. That is a calling. I feel like it's something that we all strive to do, and it's very challenging to do.
That is very wise. It's improve the humanness, so to speak, and not forgetting the fact that we're all humans, and underneath all that, regardless what we're going through, we like to connect in a certain way, and so it's actually nice. LinkedIn has evolved to it's okay to incorporate the personal self. So it's great to kind of see what's underneath it, while you can still showcase certain pieces to sort of elevate you as a thought leader, and you have certainly mastered it. Well, Jackie, we could go on and on and on. It means we'll have to have you back. So thank you so much. It's
Thank
been
you.
terrific to have you, and thank you for sharing your powerful, brave, and inspiring journey with us today.
Thank you very much, Denisa, for the opportunity, and I would love to come back if you invite me. Thank you.
And to our viewers and listeners, thank you for joining us on this inspiring conversation. And to explore more about Jackie and how to get a hold of her, make sure that you do click on her bio link below. And don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, Beyond the Bar Podcast, and all social media channels. And until next week, stay curious and inspired.